Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is my review for Teen Wolf Season 4, Episode 11, A Promise to the Dead, and holy shit, guys, shit is about to go down on this show. And when I say that, shit is really about to go down, seriously. The finale of the show is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for the finale. It is going to be so awesome. I mean, really, I can't wait for the finale of this, of this season. It's going to be amazing. And just, wow, this episode really set everything up very well. And one of the things I really liked about this episode was it was one of those episodes where you really feel everything is over. Because if you remember, at the end of last week's episode, they thought that the whole assassin thing and everything was over. They thought all that was over. They thought they didn't have to, deal with it anymore. They thought all that was over. Sorry, guys, there was a book on my bed. I was moving it. Okay. But they thought all that stuff was over. So basically, this episode, was very cool to see that happening. So let's just get to it, the episode. So basically, the beginning of the episode was very interesting, definitely. I was not expecting it to be like this. We see this man, he's dragging a body bag into what appears to be a meat locker. He puts his ears to the bag. Clearly the person inside is still alive, and he basically says, come out of the bag, and he appears to be very, this man is extremely creepy. The second we saw him, I'm like, okay, this guy's extremely creepy. Really, he was. I'm like, okay. He's about to kill and eat the victim, but luckily Dr. Deaton shows up and fights him off. The man is then taken, he basically says, he is going to take him back to Eichen House. He's not there to, kill him or whatever. He's going to take him back to Eichen House, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to take him back to Eichen House. That's what he wants to do. So, basically, he's going to Eichen House with other creatures, and in return, Dr. Dean speaks to one of the patients who seems to know everything, like Maloba the Bone Woman, and the man insists that Dr. Dean wants to know about Kate, and asks him to come closer, see what he knows, and the man has a hole in the middle of his head, which reveals a third eye. Now, that was just really strange, a really weird way to begin the episode. I mean, just very peculiar, definitely. So Scott then comes home, basically, he's picking up extra hours to work, at work, because, if you remember, they're still out of power. They're still out of power at his house, they don't have any power left, they're still out of power, that sort of thing. And he wants to go there to help his mom, because his mom has discovered the bag of money under his bed. And, Scott tells his mom he didn't give the money back because he wanted to use it for them. He wanted them to use it, basically. That's why he didn't, we know that. We know that's why he did it. He tells her the truth because of her and the problems they've been having financially. That's why he didn't want to give up the money. So she tells Scott that he can save people's lives, but he can't save them from life. This is just something they're going to have to deal with. And he shows her all this money and possibly how they might actually be able to get out of this. Because they're really in a problem. They have no power, they have no lights, nothing. And they're really in a big problem there. So they really don't have any power or anything. So they just really need to, but I like his mother's advice, you can't save yourself from life. You just can't. This is life. You just have to deal with it. I really do hope they get their power back, though, because they're in a problem, obviously. So I hope they get it back, but we'll have to see what happens there, definitely. So, yeah, that was definitely very interesting. And, I mean, honestly, I get why Scott's trying to do what he does, but he needs to save other people's lives, not his own. So then, meanwhile, for the first half of this episode had, like, 3 different plots. Later, it all combined into one big thing. Now, Liam is appearing to be suffering from some kind of, loneliness, and all of his senses are heightened. He doesn't want, Mason to go. Him and Mason are playing video games, and, he's telling Mason, don't go. Basically, Liam is suffering from PTSD. He is suffering from PTSD because of the, the beserker attack, and because of that, he's actually, has PTSD to the point where he thinks there's a beserker in his room. And it's just really crazy, definitely. And Liam realizes that he's suffering from PTSD. I mean, it's really crazy, definitely. And I thought that was a really good storyline, in my opinion. The way they did that, I just thought was very interesting, definitely. The way they did the whole PTSD thing, definitely very interesting. So Derek is also finding it hard to sleep, and there's an alarm that goes off, waking both him and Brayden. They're sleeping, and Derek obviously is having a hard time sleeping. This episode, by the way, takes place right after the, I'm assuming it takes place right after the whole attack and everything. I'm assuming it takes place after that. They grab their weapons, survey the loft, they open the door, they find a drenched Lydia, who then lets out a banshee scream, and just, I mean, Holland Roden, with those banshee screams, seriously, she's amazing when she does that, she really is. I agree with, Joe Wagner on Wolf Watch, I mean, they talked about this before, really, when Holland Roden does those banshee screams, she really is amazing. She really does do a really great job with those banshee screams. So that was definitely very interesting. We don't know why Lydia's there. Probably she's there to warn him about Peter and everything, or warn him about something. We know that she's going to tell him something, we don't know what. So then Malia wakes up Styles in the morning because he has to drive her to take her exam. This is the exam that's basically is going to show if she can, you know, be a senior with him. And she finds a very creative, and she ends up making out with him. And it seems like they're back on track. I like that they are back on track. I like them as a couple, as I've said before. I do really like Styles and Malia as a couple. I think they're cute together, in my opinion. I like them together. And honestly, I like that they're on a good path right now. You know, they've kind of had some bumps along the way. But they're one of those kind of couples that even though they have those bumps along the way, they will always, you know, fix things. They'll always fix things for themselves, and I really like that about them. And they really seem to be one of those couples that you just really root for, and that I really felt that way about, you know, Styles and Malia. I really love them together. I really do. So Scott decides, you know, he had listened to his mother. He decides the best thing to do is just to return the money to Derek, and Derek really isn't upset. Obviously, he's not upset because this was Peter's money. It wasn't him. Peter was the one concerned about the money. It's not Derek that's concerned about it. Derek could give two shits about it, really. And basically, they're discussing why he didn't return it, and the money, you know, wasn't Derek's in the first place, so he really doesn't care. Now, Scott says, we find out what, you know, what was happening with Dr. Deaton before. Dr. Deaton is trying to find out what happened to Derek to bring himself back to himself. And Dr. Deaton appears to be in some sort of, now, Dr. Deaton is in some sort of coma, and the doctor's examining him, and he is, you know, in basically like a dream world, and he sees bones surrounding him in a cave, so that's definitely very strange. We don't really know what's going on there. I thought that was just very strange, in my opinion. I really didn't know what was going on there. And, yeah, so that was interesting, definitely. And, then we see Liam. He's in a weight room, basically. But before we see this, though, we see the pack we see, Kira, Lydia, and Malia in a classroom. And Kira tells everyone that it's over. You know, she pretty much thinks it's over because, you know, Lydia sees this thing on the board. And it basically says, like, time of death, and then, like, numbers. And, you know, Kira says, what are you worried about? It's over. The assassins, everything, it's over. They pretty much think that all that's over because they were told, you know, they got that text that basically said, it's over, we can all go home now and everything. So Kira pretty much believes, obviously, that it's over. She thinks it's over, pretty much. And, you can clearly tell, though, that it really, you can just tell it's not over. You can just tell. Lydia doesn't seem to agree, though, because, you know, Lydia sees that thing on the board, and she just doesn't agree. So then we see Liam. He's in the weight room, and he is, you know, he's working out and everything, showing intensity, and it seems like, you know, it's going to be fine for him. It was a nice scene between him and Mason, but the workout ends up becoming way too intense, and he needs a spot from Scott, who tells him he couldn't push his friends, so he shouldn't push his friends away, and Liam is still being haunted by the memories of the Berserker, and I really like what Scott said. He said, even though you have to push the memories out, you're not going to push your friends away. You can't push your friends away, and I thought that was definitely just a very good message, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that a lot. One of the things I love about this episode definitely was the way this episode handled, you know, the effects of, you know, after the attack, how everyone, you know, responded to it, with Liam, you know, having PTSD and whatnot, things like that. I thought that was really cool. So, then we see Chris, and Chris has located Kate's hideout, but Peter, and then we see Peter. Now, we had not seen Peter the whole episode, so I'm like, are we not going to see Peter? Because we're like 20 minutes into the episode, and I'm like, are we not going to see Peter or something? What's going on here? Now, Peter and the Berserker, they find him snooping around, and it looks as if a battle is going to occur. It looks like there's going to be, like, a huge battle going on, and, yeah, so, very intense shit there. So Scott and Kira then arrive at Derek's loft, and he asks her to turn on the light, because, you know, Kira can do that, because she is a, I can't remember what she is now. I can't remember. What the fuck is she? I can't remember. She's a fox, right, she's a fox, and she can turn on lights and everything, and basically he asks her to turn on the light, and just as she does, they're going on their first date, basically. They have their first date. It's a very cute scene. They were, basically trying to watch, Star Wars on the, they couldn't find actual TV, so they are, basically about to watch the movie, but Kira's like, you know what, fuck it, and she starts to have sex with him, and it was actually going pretty far. I'm like, wow, Teen Wolf's going pretty far with this sex scene. I mean, I thought they were actually gonna have sex there, and they were gonna have sex, basically, but Kate ends up crashing the party. She bursts right through the window of the loft, and, we know that shit's about to go down. The second that happened, I'm like, okay, this episode's about to get awesome. The episode was already awesome, but seriously, that's when I was like, this is gonna get awesome. So meanwhile, we then see Sheriff Stilinski. He is tells Stiles that their depth now this was very interesting. I thought this was just, something very interesting. You know that Stiles was in money problems as well, but basically their debt has been revoked, and that he will be taking Stiles and Malia to dinner. And we see a very funny scene with Malia. I love this quote. One of the funniest quotes probably of the episode. Probably the funniest quote. He says, Malia, what's your favorite thing for dinner? And Malia says, deer. And then Stiles says, oh, no, she meant pizza. And I thought that was really funny because it's like, Malia's never going to, even though she wants to, Malia is never going to be, fully human. She's never going to be. That's just who she is. She's always going to be part, I can't remember what she is. Oh my god, why can't I remember what anyone is? She's always going to be part, I think she's like, is she a were-coyote? I think she's a were-coyote. Something like that, and she's always going to be part, werewolf. She's always going to be that way. That's just what she's going to be. So, I thought that was definitely a very funny scene. It's very funny to see Malia, just the whole season. One of the things I've loved about the season is seeing Malia try to transform into a human. I mean, that's just one of the funniest parts of the season. Even though the season has been very intense, I mean, it was very well done with that. That scene was definitely very funny. In the meantime, Mr. Argent is being horrifically tortured by Peter. He literally drives a steel rod into him, bends it to ensure he cannot leave the lair, and I honestly thought Chirs Argent was going to die in this episode. I really did. I thought Chirs Argent was going to die because every single season, they kill off a member of Allison's family. Season 1, it was Kate. Of course, Kate's not dead, but we thought she was dead then. Season 2 was her mother. Season 3 was Allison herself. I thought Chris was going to get it in this episode because, last season, they did the same thing. It seems every season they kill off someone the episode before. Season 2, Allison's mother killed herself. Last season, of course, Allison died, the biggest death in the entire show. I really thought Chris was going to get it. I really did. But, yeah, so I really thought he was at that point in the episode. So meanwhile, Liam and Mason, they're talking it out, and Mason can clearly tell that there's something going on. He can clearly tell that Liam is hiding something. He's not stupid, obviously, so he wants to talk to him. And he tells Liam he's willing to listen, and when Liam is ready to talk, he's ready to listen when Liam's ready to talk, and it looks like everything's okay there. So that's pretty much the end of that plot, as far as that plot went. There wasn't much else going on there, because after this, it was mainly just, intense shit going on. Because Scott is struggling in the fight against Kate and the Berserker. Kira's being attacked and hurt pretty badly. I mean, she's just getting the shit beat out of her. Scott jumps in to try to save her, and the Berserker turns attention to Kira. Kira used a chain in her train to try to battle the Berserker, but he overpowers her while Scott is still struggling against Kate. The Berserker grabs Kira. Kate tells Scott that she wants answers to why he is decimating her family. Why is he going after her family, specifically? Why is he going after her family? And she wants to know right now. And she asks him what is so special about him. And, by the way, Jill Wagner, this was by far Jill Wagner's best performance. seriously, she was creepy in this episode. Creepy. She was a perfect villain. I don't know, really, but I gotta say, I think Kate Argent is the best villain we've had on the show. The Nagitsune was awesome last season, but really, Kate Argent is the best villain we've had on this show. I gotta say, she really, really is, in my opinion. She really is. And basically, she asked him what's so special about him, and that if she wants him, just take him. But she says that she's bringing everyone with her to what she calls church. And I'm like, what? What kind of church are you talking about? So then we see there's a game going on, and this is a very funny scene. I thought this scene was very funny. Stiles and Liam, they're both getting ready for a lacrosse game, and of course, when there's a lacrosse game on the show, that's when intense shit has gone on so far. And Scott and Kira obviously haven't showed up for the game, and the coach is obviously getting a little bit furious. I mean, he's like, where would Scott and Kira be besides here? And I just thought it was very funny, because it's like the coach is like so clueless. He didn't even think that they might be having sex, because Styles has no idea what's really going on. Liam doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know that they're actually being attacked by Kate. They think they're having sex right now. That's what they think. So Liam is worried that Scott and Kira haven't showed up for the game, and Styles tells Liam not to worry, and the game is about to begin, and Scott and Kira, they're still missing. They're nowhere to be found. They're still missing, and Styles is getting a little nervous, because obviously their sex wouldn't be going on for this long. So Styles and Liam, they're not doing so hot without Kira and Scott, and so yeah, they're really not doing well at all. It's really, I felt bad for them, honestly. I really did. They tried to do the best they can, but they really couldn't. So, Deputy Parrish, in the meantime, he ends up finding Chris, who is bleeding very, very fast. Very fast, and, yeah. So, I really like that Parrish wanted to, comfort him. He wanted to comfort him, and he tells him that he will be getting Chris out of the lair before anyone returns. He's not just going to let him there, he's not just going to leave him there to die. He's going to help him. He's going to help him get out of this. And the moment he's like, I'm like, okay, they're not going to kill off Chirs Argent. So, Liam, meanwhile, is still worrying, and Styles leaves with his dad to try to find Scott and Kira, because obviously he doesn't know where the fuck they are, and Liam listens to the conversation, and he knows that something is not right. Something is definitely going on. So, Liam can't concentrate, and he's still having hallucinations, making it hard for him to focus in the game. So, I really hope his PTSD goes away. PTSD, though, that's one of those things that never goes away. So, I really hope for Liam's sake that there has to be a way for him to get over this. Because I know when I've seen, people have I don't know anyone personally that has PTSD, but I know when you have PTSD, it's something that sticks with you throughout your whole life. It just does not go away. It's that simple. It does not go away, and I really hope for Liam's sake that it does go away, because I want him to be successful. I do. I don't want this to be there for the rest of his life. But if it is, then, oh well. So then we see a very interesting scene. We see Peter with Malia. Now, Malia obviously wants nothing to do with him. Wants nothing to do with him at all, because, and that's understandable, because the last time that Malia saw Peter, she left him and everything. She knows what's going on and everything. And definitely we know something's going to happen. So basically, Lydia locates Dr. Deaton, surprisingly, and demands to speak to him. She wants to get him out of this, fantasy world he's in. So Liam takes a really hard hit, and another werewolf from the opposing team warns him to get it together. He has to get it together, and he has to get through this, basically. He just has to get through this himself, and that's what he has to do, is to try to get through this. Whether he likes it or not, he just has to. So, basically, after this, he, basically they want him to get it together because he can smell his fear. And then Peter tells Malia, and I thought this was very deceitful. I do not believe Peter. After this last episode, I don't believe Peter. I don't think Peter, I just can't trust him at this point. Peter tells Malia that he found her mother, because, Malia wanted to find her mother. And she says, okay, I found your mother, but you're not going to get to, but I will let you find her. But if you want to find her, you have to kill Kate. So, that is huge right there. That is huge where that is going, and that was just like, wow. I was not expecting that. That's huge. That was definitely huge, and that was just wow. Really, that was big. So, Kira, meanwhile, is laying in a pile of bones, and she wakes up hurt and groggy, and she yells for Scott, but he's not there, because Kate has him. So, Liam appears to be lost after the game, and he has a heart-to-heart with the werewolf that gave him the hard hit, and he tells Liam he's lucky to have an alpha like Scott. And that was a good scene, definitely, because I think this werewolf, whoever he is, we don't know his name. Oh, yeah, what was his name? I can't remember his name right now, but it's the guy who... It's the same guy that we saw last week. I can't remember his name. I think his name was... Oh, God, what was his name? Let me just look at last week's episode for a second. Brett. Brett talks to him and tells him how much, Scott has helped him with everything, how much Scott helped him last week and everything. So I thought that was very good advice. I really feel that Brett is going to be the one to help Liam. Brett is going to be the one to tell Liam, hey, you can trust Scott. Scott's going to be there for you. Because Liam's had, some trust issues with Scott. He doesn't really, he hasn't known Liam is still a beta. He is still trying to figure out, can I trust Scott? Is Scott someone that, I should be able to trust? And he just does not know if he should still trust him. So I thought that was very well done, in my opinion. Definitely very well done. So then we see a very good scene. This scene almost made me cry. I thought this scene was very well done. Parrish is with Crystal, and even though tells him to help, Parrish tells him to help Chris. Chris tells him to go. He wants him to just leave him there to die. Chris is like, no, I want to leave. And Parrish says, you need to get angry. You need to find some sort of trigger. And I really like what he says here. He says, I know that you are hurting about Allison. I know that you feel Scott was a good boyfriend for her. I know you felt that she really loves Scott, and you are still unstable about it. And I thought that was very surprising. They brought up Allison. I mean, that was definitely very big. I didn't know that Parrish knew about Allison. I had no idea he really knew about Allison. I did not know that. But he tells him about that, basically, and basically he tells him he basically tells him to he tells him to all he needs is to will himself, and he frees him. So, Chris is okay. Luckily, he didn't get killed, and that was good. I was happy he didn't get killed. So then Stiles and Sheriff Stilinski return to the loft to find Brayden and Derek, and everyone realizes that Scott is gone. And this was big when we found out where he is. It turns out that Scott is in Mexico. Kate has taken him all the way back to Mexico, and that the pack will have to venture there if they want to save him. So they're going all the way back to Mexico. I thought that was huge because the first episode, they were just rambling in Mexico. We didn't know why. And now we know why, because that's where Kate wants to take Scott, is to Mexico. And basically, the very end of the episode, Kate gives Scott this history lesson on Greek mythology. And Kate is telling him that she is going to turn him into something unrecognizable to his friends. And, I mean, that was just really big. She says, your friends are not going to trust you. They're not even going to realize who you are. They might fight you. They're going to, not be happy about you. They're going to try to fight you. Like, you better start running. And basically, she is going to turn Scott into a beserker. And that is how this episode ends. And that was a perfect cliffhanger, in my opinion. Like, that was awesome. The second that she put that mask near him, like, holy shit, shit is about to go down. And oh my god, this episode was just amazing. By far the best episode of the season. I absolutely love this episode. I want to talk about a few things in this episode, though. The next episode, let's talk about the next episode. The next episode is an hour and 15 minutes long. And now I know why. Because this episode, there was just too many things for this episode to, there are too many things going on in this episode for me to, think that, what's going to happen, basically. And the next episode, the finale is going to be the best finale Teen Wolf, I think, has had. Because this episode really showed that Season 4 is the best season. Season 4 has officially surpassed Season 3. Seriously, this episode is absolutely amazing. And let's talk about a few things going on here. First of all, Scott and Kate. I do not know what's going to happen with Scott. Now, Scott, of course, has been having those visions of him possibly going dark. So I'm wondering if they might possibly turn Scott into, an anti-hero, if they're going to make Scott darker next season. I'd actually like to see a darker Scott. I know a lot of people have been wanting to see that. The thing about Scott is I love his character. I really do. I think he's a great character. I love his hero. I love how much of a leader he is. But really, lately, if you think about it, Scott has been questioning how he is. He had those weird visions of him as a dark wolf. So is he going to go dark? That's my question. Do you guys think Scott might possibly go dark and he might actually permanently become a... I don't know if it's going to be permanent. It might be for like a couple episodes, but Season 5 is going to be, I believe, in January. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. Malia and Peter. I don't trust Peter right now. I really don't. I think Malia's going to die, personally. I really do. I don't know why. Peter's asking Malia to really go on a suicide mission right now because I don't think Kate is going to be... I don't think it's going to be that easy to kill Kate. I don't think Malia's going to be able to kill Kate. I really don't. Kate seems unstoppable at this point. She really does. So I don't know if Malia's going to be able to kill Kate. I really feel that Malia's going to get killed. I don't know why, but they said they're killing off a major character. So I really feel it's Malia. Because Malia has been a great character, but we know pretty much everything about her, except for who her mother is. We know a lot about her, and really, this season's been focusing a lot on Scott and Stiles and Malia, so I don't know what's going to happen there, definitely, we'll have to see. Is Kira going to find out where Scott is? I'm sure she is going to find out eventually. Liam, I really hope that Brett gets Liam through this PTSD. I think he's going to be able to. I hope Liam tells Mason what's going on as well, because Mason's pretty much in the dark right now. He has no idea what's going on at this point. He doesn't know. He just knows that his friend's going through a hard time. That's all he knows, really. And I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about. Oh, also, I really loved Chirs Argent scenes. I really would love Chirs Argent to kill Kate. I really would love that time. That'd be awesome if Chris just killed Kate, because that'd be like him, he killed his sister. That'd be awesome to watch. I thought that'd be awesome to see. I mean, obviously, he is pissed at his sister right now, and I really feel that he's going to be the one to kill Kate. But I also do feel that Peter is going to become the main villain here, because Peter, I just don't trust him right now. There's something about Peter. I obviously don't trust him. So, I don't know what's going to happen here. We'll have to see what else happens. And, yeah, that's basically it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this was a long review, but it had to be because this episode was absolutely amazing. Overall, best episode of the season by far. Love this episode. So much shit went down, and I can't wait for the finale. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will either be for another movie review or for my review of tomorrow's episode of Finding Carter, which should also be huge. So, I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.